Hello everyone, it's Alan from Coding Ireland here. How's it going? Um, you're all very welcome to the Code Along today. So today we're going to be making a diver game in Scratch. So this Code Along session is for 6 to 9 year olds, but if anyone is younger or older, you're more than welcome to join in. So far, I can see 12 people have joined in. So we're going to just give a couple of minutes because it's not quite 12 o'clock yet. So we'll give a couple of minutes just to let people join in and give them time to get set up. Um, so the project we're going to be making today is a diver game. So I'll give you a quick kind of preview of it. So we're going to be making it in Scratch, and the idea of the game is you're going to control the diver, and a shark is going to be chasing you. And so if I press play, the starfish will appear in random places on the screen, and the idea is you control the diver with your mouse, and the shark then tries to catch you. And if the shark does catch you, then it's game over. And at the end, we're going to just put in some code to keep track of what your score is, how many starfish you managed to collect. So I'm just going to give a couple more minutes for people just to join in because it's just gone 12 o'clock. I can see we're up to 14 now. So just to kind of give a little explanation. Oh, let me just go full screen here. So just to give a little bit of an explanation of how we work on these code along sessions. So the idea is you will have two tabs open. So you'll have one tab, which will be your instructions for the projects that we're creating. And then you'll have another tab open for which will be the Scratch website. And this is where we're going to create our code. You don't need to open the Scratch website just yet. That's the very first step in our lesson, so we'll do that in a minute. But that's how it's going to work. You'll have two tabs open, one for the instructions and then one for the Scratch website. So you should be able to see me in the YouTube box here. And the best way to kind of do it is I'll show you how to do a step. So we'll do step one. And if you go into full screen, so if you click on full screen, it'll go into full screen and you'll get a nice clear picture of what I'm showing you on my screen. And then when you're finished, come out of full screen, or when I'm finished showing you how to do that step, come out of full screen, and then you can go into Scratch, into the Scratch tab and put in your code that way. So let me see. So those of you that joined our code along session last week, we've just made a couple of changes. We've just put in thumbs up and thumbs down buttons, and they're just a way for you to let me know if things are going okay, or I might ask you questions like, am I going too fast? Or I might say, am I going too slow? And if I am, put down a red thumbs down if I'm going too fast, or if I'm going the right speed, put a green thumbs up. Okay, so we have 16 people joined in. So I can see people putting in their thumbs up. We do seem to have a bit of a problem. So this area here that I'm showing you on my screen, normally this will put in the badges that people earn and get awarded. But we seem to have a little bit of a problem with it today, but we should be able to keep on going. Okay, so what are we up to? We're up to 17 people now. So we'll start now in 1 minute. So again, for anyone who just joined and didn't get the kind of instructions at the start, the way we will work it is we'll have two tabs, one tab for the instructions and then one tab for the Scratch website where you'll be creating the code of the project today. And up the top here, you should have a YouTube box where you should be seeing the live stream now of me. When I'm demonstrating a step, if you just want to go into click on full screen, so you get a nice clear picture. And then when I say go ahead and you go do the code, come out of full screen, go on into Scratch, do the code. You can even switch back and forth between the two tabs to check on, just to make sure you've got the right code. If you need any help, and there is an adult that can help you, that's great. if I go too fast and you kind of get left behind a little bit, that's no problem. We're going to leave the project up there so you have all day to do it. You can do it in your own time. Okay, so we're going to get going now. So the very first, so if you want to go into full screen, so the very first step we're going to do is we're going to create a new Scratch project. So step one, create a new Scratch project. So to do that, here, I'll close down my tab. All we do is we just click on this link here and it's going to open up the Scratch website. And then up the very top, we're going to click on the create button up here. And this is going to open up the project editor. Just give it a second to pop up. So it'll open up the project editor. Most of you should be familiar with this now because we've done quite a few projects. You would have done them in our coding clubs. So once it opens up, we don't need the cat sprite. So you can click on the little trash icon. And then once you've done that, come back and mark the step as done. So if you want to go ahead now and do that, I can see 4 coders have done it already. So I'll give a little bit of time to do that. I'm actually going to just turn on the ring around my mouse so it's a little bit easier to see. There we go. Okay. And yeah, if you want to come back and if you want to just give a thumbs up once you've done it, that'll let me know. I can see 5 have done it so far. So Coding Club, Jack, Moon 11B, and others are coming in there. Code Ninja is me. Jack has done it. 1234 Ed has done it. Coding Club has done it. Erica ZH has done it. Moon 11B, Kit Kat, Pat in the Hat. So we're up to 10 coders have done it. So just take your time, open up the new Scratch project, or open up the Scratch website, create a new project and delete the cat. Okay, we'll move on to step number 2. So this is where we're going to add the backdrop. So a backdrop in Scratch is just the background in the stage area. So for this one, we're just going to add in the underwater 1 backdrop. So I'll quickly show it to you here. So go into Scratch. Down the very bottom, there is 2 buttons. You're going to choose a backdrop button and click on the magnifying glass. And the one we want is the underwater one. So you'll need to scroll down a little bit and it's this underwater one here. You just click it once, it adds it into your stage area and then you can come back and mark that step as done. So if you want to go ahead and do that now, so switch to your Scratch tab and go in and choose a backdrop from the backdrop library, find the underwater 1 backdrop, which is the kind of blue backdrop with different pieces of coral and things like that. Click on it, it'll add it to your project, you'll see it in the stage area, and then once you've done that, come back to the instructions page and you can go full screen again. So I can see the coders have done it already. So Erica, Moon 11, Piper 2021, Curl 12 have all done it. Coding Club has done it. So each time you do it, you'll get the points. So if you're logged into our site, if you're a member of a coding club, you'll get the points and get the badges. Anyone that's just joining us today and isn't a member, that's brilliant. You're very welcome along. You can work down through the steps. You won't be able to get the points and badges. You need to be a member of the coding club, but you can still work down through it. And if you do want to join, you're very welcome. So Kit Kat, Pat in the Hat, Piper 2021 have all done it. Okay, I'll just give another 20 seconds or so. Just give you some time. So there's, just to let you know, there is 9 steps in this project we're doing. Oh, the very last step is just a challenge. So really there's 8 steps and then a challenge at the end. So we're going to move on to step number 3 now. And this is where we're going to add in the diver sprite. So this is the diver sprite. We're going to add in the diver sprite. And what we're going to do is we're going to give the diver sprite some code, give the diver sprite some instructions so that the diver sprite points in the direction of wherever we put our mouse pointer, and then moves in that direction. So we're going to say when green flag clicked, we're just going to start off the diver sprite up the top middle, which is X 150. So X is on the left and right. So we're going to start the diver on the right, and Y is up and down. So 0 is right in the center. We're going to set the size of the diver to 50%, so just make it a little bit smaller. And then we're going to use a forever block to repeat some instructions to make sure the instructions happen forever, over and over. We're going to point the diver wherever our mouse pointer is, and then we're going to make the diver move 4 steps, so it moves towards wherever your mouse pointer is. So I'm going to go into Scratch. I'm going to go down to this button here to choose a sprite and choose it from the library. So I'll click on the magnifying glass. I'll scroll down, and there's 2 diver sprites. There's diver 1 and diver 2. I'm going to add diver 1. If you want to add diver 2, add diver 2. So we see the sprite added in here. Then we are going to go into our toolbox and get a when green flag clicked. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There's actually been an update to the Scratch website. So these trigger blocks, they're called hat blocks. They just have a little animation of a cat, I think it is. So we're going to add in it when green flag clicked. Let me check my code. So go to XY, which is in the motion toolbox. So we're going to get a go to XY, why can't I see it? There it is. We're going to say X 150 and Y 0. Then we're going to go back in and go to the looks toolbox and get a set size to 100%, but we'll change it to 50 because we want the diver a little bit smaller. Then we'll go into the control toolbox and get a forever block so we can repeat some instructions. And what we're going to get it to repeat is in the motion toolbox, we'll get a point towards mouse pointer. So this will make sure, so if I click on my green flag here, you'll see here that my diver points in the direction of wherever I put my mouse. And then the last block we need to get is a move 10 steps. So we'll put that underneath the point towards mouse pointer and we'll change it to 4. So if I click on my green flag, you'll see wherever I put my mouse, the diver moves, points in that direction and moves towards it. Okay, so if you want to come out of full screen, if you were in it, switch across to Scratch and add in that code. So you're going to add in the diver sprite first. So open up the sprite library and find the diver sprite. There's diver 1 and diver 2. So choose whichever one you want. And then once the sprite has been added, you're going to go into the events toolbox and get a when green flag clicked. Then you're going to go and get go to XY block from the motion toolbox. So that's the blue toolbox. And you're going to change the value of X to be 150 or Y and Y to be 0. And that's just giving an instruction to say where you want your diver to start off at the start of the game. Then you'll go into the looks toolbox and get set size to 100%, and you'll change 100 to be 50. So we're going to make the diver 50% of its normal size, so half of its normal size. Then you'll go into the control toolbox and get a forever block. So that's the block that has a little gap in it. It's like a C. And you put that in at the bottom. And then go back into the motion toolbox. And we're going to get 2 more blocks from here. We're going to get a point towards mouse pointer. So that will make, so because you put it in a forever block, it'll make your diver point wherever your mouse pointer is. It'll keep on doing it. And then you'll get a move 10 steps block and put that inside the forever block as well. And change 10 to be 4. So that's just basically saying how many steps the diver is going to keep on moving because it's in the forever block. So we don't want to make it go too fast. We don't want it 10. We're going to set it to 4. And once you've got all that done, click on the green flag. And what should happen is your diver should point in the direction of your mouse and follow your mouse. So if you move your mouse around the screen, your mouse pointer, you should see that the diver is following it around. Okay, so let's check on how we're doing. So we've 9 coders have completed the step already. Well done. Moon 11, Piper, Erica, KitKat, Pat in the Hat, I think have all done it. Ailish has done it. Moon 11, the Jack, Erica. Oh, this keeps on refreshing. Coding Club has done it. Well done. Okay, we're up to 11 have done it. So I'll just give a little bit more time just to finish off that. And then we're going to move on to the next step. So the next step is going to be adding in the starfish sprite. So if you remember at the start when I gave you a little preview, the starfish is going to appear somewhere in the stage area, a random place, and the diver has to go and touch off it to collect it, and then it'll disappear and reappear somewhere else, and again the diver has to get it. And that's the aim of the game, is to get as many starfish as you can, and then we're going to add in a shark sprite, and the shark sprite is going to chase you. So wherever you are, wherever the diver is, the shark sprite is going to try and catch you, and if the shark catches you, then it's game over. So that's the aim of the game. Okay, so we've got 11 have done it so far. Okay, well done everyone. So I'm going to move on to step number 4. If you haven't got step number 3 done yet, that's all right. Just keep on going at your pace. Again, all the instructions are going to be up there, so you'll have plenty of time to do it. So I'm just going to hide my video. Okay, so step number 4 is very simple. All we need to do is we just need to go into the sprite library and add in the starfish sprite. So back into Scratch, open up the sprite library, and we're going to find starfish. So if you want, you can type in STAR and it'll filter the results. It'll show you matches for starfish, or you can just scroll down. And this is in order of alphabetical, so you need to go down to the S's for starfish, and here it is, this pink starfish here. We're going to add in that starfish. So go ahead, add in the starfish to your project, and then come back and mark the step as done in the instructions. So I'm going to mark it done myself. Oh, there was an error. There we go. Oh, I got a drone as a badge. Nice. I don't think I've ever got a drone before. So 9, 10 have already done it. Well done, everyone. It's a very simple step, but a step nonetheless, so well done. So I'm just going to give a little bit more time, just make sure we bring as many along as we can. Oh, while we're waiting, I forgot to mention that, so we're going to be giving away another microbit in this code along. So let me quickly show you. So this might give some people a little bit of time to catch up. So I'll quickly show you how the microbit works. So it's a little mini computer, and so let me put it up here so you can see it. So it's got LEDs, as you can see. It's got buttons, it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker, it's got Bluetooth, it's got a compass, thermometer, loads of different things, and you can program it to do really, really cool stuff. So that's it there. So we're going to pick a coder at the end of this code along session. We'll pick a coder from the list of people who are logged in, and we'll send it out to you. Okay. So that is that. Okay, so where are we? So we've got 11 done. Well done. We're going to move on now to step number 5. So we're going to add some code to the starfish. So basically, just at the start, we're going to say set the size of the starfish to be 30%, so get it a lot smaller. We're going to hide it, and then we're going to create a clone of it. So creating a clone is just creating a copy of it, and that's how we're going to make it appear in different places. So I'm going to switch into Scratch. I'm going to make sure my starfish is selected because I'm going to add some code to it. Then I'm going to go into my events toolbox and drag in a when green flag clicked, go into looks and set size to 100%, but we'll change 100 to be 30. And still in the looks toolbox, there's a hide block. So we've got show and hide blocks to make things appear and disappear. We're going to get the hide block and put it in there. Let me just check what else I need to do. And then we're going to go into the control toolbox, And in here, there is create clone of myself. So this creates a copy. So we're going to drag that in and put it at the bottom. Now, when I click on the green flag here, all that's going to happen is, all that we're going to see happen is the starfish disappear. That's because we've put in a hide block. But in the next step, we're actually going to program it to appear in a random place. So go ahead now and add in that code for the sprite. So make sure you've got this sprite selected down here. Make sure that the sprite is selected in the sprite list. So there should be a kind of blue box around it, a blue border. And then you're going to go into the events toolbox and get a when green flag clicked and add that in. Then into the looks toolbox, you'll get a set size to 100% block. And instead of 100%, you're going to put in 330. And that'll make the sprite, the starfish, a bit smaller. Still in the looks toolbox, you're going to get a hide block. And that'll make the sprite disappear. And then finally in the control toolbox, so that's the orange toolbox, there's a block called create clone of myself. Create clone of myself. And you'll drag that in and put it in at the very bottom. So 4 code blocks. I'll go and mark my step as done and see how everyone is doing. Oh, so just while you're doing that, we've added in a new series of awards, of badges. We've added in a space series, so there's some really cool ones in there. This is the first project that has them. So if you get this some space series badges awards today, you're the only coders so far that will have them. We'll be putting them into some new projects as we add in the new projects. But yeah, you'll be the first ones to get them. I just got a starfighter. A rare. Okay, so where are we? Okay, great. 10 have already done it. 10 of our logged in coders. There might be some of our coders that aren't logged in that have done it. 11, well done. Okay, so I think that is that's a good number. Yeah, people are coming back and giving the thumbs up for they've done it. Well done. Okay, so we'll move on to the next step. And that is to program. So step number 6, we're going to program the starfish to appear. So I'll show you the little animation here. So you'll see that the starfish is going to appear, and each time the diver touches off and catches the starfish, it'll disappear and then reappear in a new place. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to add in a block that says when I start as a clone. So when a copy of me is created, this is what should happen. We'll go to a random position, we'll show the sprite so it appears, and then in a forever block we're going to detect if it's touching the diver. So we're going to use an IfThen block. So if touching diver, so if the starfish is touching the diver, we're going to create a new copy, and then we're going to delete this old copy. So that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So back into Scratch, still adding code to the starfish sprite. I'll move this code over here. So we're going to go into the control toolbox, and down the bottom is when I start as a clone. There's a block there, when I start as a clone. And when I do, let me check my code again. Yep, we're going to go into the motion toolbox and get go to random position. So this will just make choose a random position on the stage area and make the sprite appear there, make the copy, the clone of the sprite appear there. Then we're going to go into looks toolbox and get a show block. So show, and add that in so that'll make it appear, because remember in the previous step we used a hide block because the starfish starts off hidden. So when we create a copy, it'll show. And then we'll go into the control toolbox and get the forever block again, because we're going to repeat some instructions. And still in the control toolbox, we're going to get an if then. So we're going to check to see if something is true or false. So if, we'll go into sensing. So if the starfish is touching, so I'm getting a touching mouse pointer block, but we're going to click on the little white arrow and change that to diver 1. So if the starfish is touching diver 1, then whatever we put inside here will happen. So what we want to put inside there, let me just quickly check, is we're going to create a new copy of the starfish. So we're going to go into control toolbox again and get create clone of myself, and we'll put that inside the if then. If you ever put something in the wrong place, that's fine. If you put a block in the wrong place, that's fine. You can just break it off again and just try and put it in where you want it. So that one's going inside if touching diver, then create a clone of myself. And then finally, we're going to get a delete this clone because you've touched off it, because the diver has collected the starfish. We're going to create a new copy and then delete it. So what's going to happen when a new copy is created, it's going to start back up here. It's going to choose a new random position and show again, and then just keep on checking to see if the diver collected it. So when I click on my green flag here, it'll load in the new code, and you'll see when each time I collect a starfish, each time it touches, it deletes the clone, creates a new one in a new random position, and that's how the game works. Okay, so if you want to switch back now, come out of full screen if you're in full screen, and go into Scratch and add in the code. So there's quite a few code blocks in this one, so take your time and I'll give you the time to do it. So this is code that you're adding to the starfish sprite. So make sure that the starfish sprite is selected. So that should have the little blue box, little blue border around it. And then you're going to go into the the control toolbox and get when I start as a clone. So if you've any difficulty kind of finding the code blocks that you need to get for this, see if there's an older brother or sister, or if your mum or your dad or your guardian are there, if they can help you out just to find the blocks. So in the control toolbox, when I start as a clone, then into the motion toolbox, and you're going to get go to random position and put that in. And then into the looks toolbox and scroll down a little bit and you'll see a show block. So that's to make the sprite appear. So drag that in, and then into the control toolbox and get a forever block and drag that in underneath. And still in the control toolbox, get an IfThen block, excuse me, and drag that in and put it inside the forever. And then into the sensing toolbox. So this is what you want to check. So you're saying if touching diver 1 is true, then. So we're going to get a touching mouse pointer block. And when you drag that in and put it inside the if then, there's a little white arrow on it that you can click, and that will let you change what the block is checking, is touching. And we want to select diver 1, or if you added the diver 2 sprite, you would select diver 2. So that goes inside the if then, and then back into the control toolbox, and then down the bottom. So the very last 2 blocks, orange blocks, we're going to drag in a create clone of myself, and that goes inside the if then block, so inside the gap. And also in the control toolbox right down the bottom, get a delete this clone, and that's going to be added inside the if then as well. So once you've added all that code, click on the green flag and just check that. So your diver should be following your mouse, and the starfish sprite should be appearing in a random place. And when you collect it, so when you touch off the starfish sprite, it should disappear and then reappear in a different place. So I'll give just a little bit more time. I'm going to switch back to my screen and mark the step as done so I can see where everyone is. Oh, I got a football helmet, American football helmet. Nice. So where are we? Okay, so I can see 11 coders have already done it. Well done, brilliant. So I'll just give a little bit more time, just in case there's anybody who is still waiting. Or sorry, anybody who is still working on the steps, just to give them time to catch up. So just to quickly say, if you want to look at your collection of badges, you can just go into your profile. So I'll open up a new tab here. You can go into your profile, You'll see that your latest ones that you're after been getting. Oh, I got a handheld legendary. Got a couple of legendaries in this project. Great. So you'll see a feed of your new achievements and awards. You can go into the awards tab here and it'll show you all the ones that you've got so far in your collection. So you can scroll down and see them all. And if you click on, you can also click on see all available badges. So again, I'll open up a new tab and this will show you the full collection of them all. So if I open up the space series, so there's loads of new ones here in the space series. So far I've got the space shuttle rare and I've got a starfighter alt. But so you can go in and see all the ones you've got. So I just have in the gamer series, the only one I haven't got yet is the ghost legendary. So I've got the original rare, I just haven't got the legendary, so I'm trying to get that one. So that's your collection. And you can also see your rank. So your rank is listed underneath your username up the top here. So I've done quite a few projects, so I'm all the way up to Senior Scientist 4-star. If you click into the rank here in your profile, they will turn green as you work your way through them. So I'm nearly down at the end. I'm at Senior Scientist, so 4-star, I'll get to 5-star, and then I'm on to Chief Scientist, which is the final one. So that's just a little bit of fun as you work your way through them. Okay, so hopefully that's given everyone enough time to catch up. So we're going to move on to number 6, is it? No, we've done number 6. We're going to move on to number 7, step number 7. So this is where we add a little bit of a challenge to the game. We're going to add in a shark sprite. And what we're going to do is we're going to program the shark sprite so we'll change the size of it at the start. We'll make this shark sprite start in a random position as well. And what we're going to do is using a forever block, we're going to make the shark, so wherever your diver is, we're going to make the shark point towards wherever your diver is. Keep on pointing towards wherever your diver is, and then move towards your diver. And you might notice that we're only going to make the shark sprite, let me zoom in here, we're only going to make the shark sprite move at one step. If you remember, if I scroll back up, when we were programming the diver, we said move 4 steps. So we're moving at speed 4. The shark sprite, we're just moving at speed 1. So that gives the diver a little bit of a chance to get away from the shark because the shark is moving slower. Okay, let's go in and program this. So first things first, we're going to go into Scratch. We're going to open up the sprite library and I'm going to find shark. So you can scroll down to the S's. So SHARK2, shark. Click on the shark and shark gets added. Then let me check my code. Okay, so we're going to go into the events toolbox. So the events toolbox, drag in when green flag clicked. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Then we're going to get set size to 100%. So into the looks toolbox, get set size to 100%, but change it to 50. So 50 is half of 100, so half of the normal size. Then into the motion toolbox, we're going to get a go to random position. So at the start, the shark will start off at a random position. Then we're going to go into the control toolbox and get a forever block. So we repeat some instructions. And what we want the shark to forever do, to keep on doing, is to point towards the diver sprite. So into the motion toolbox, there is a point towards mouse pointer block. We're going to drag that in and put it inside the forever. And we're going to click on the little white arrow in that block, in the point towards block. And instead of mouse pointer, we want to choose diver 1. Or if you added diver 2 to your project, choose diver 2. So now the block says point towards diver 1. So I'm just going to click on the stage area here and click on the green. And you'll see wherever I make the diver go at the moment, the shark is pointing towards the diver. Now I still need to add in one more block, and that's to make the shark move. So still in the motion toolbox, up the very top, the very first block in the blue motion toolbox is a move 10 steps. We're going to drag that in and put it inside the forever block, and we're going to change it to 1 step. So move 1 step. So now when I click on my green flag to load up my code, you'll see that the shark is moving towards my diver sprite. And you'll also see that the diver sprite is moving faster, so I have a little bit of a chance to get away. That's because the diver is moving at speed 4, so move 4 steps, and the shark has just moved one step. So if you want to go ahead now and add in that code, so you're going to add the sprite shark2 from the sprite library. Then you're going to go into the events toolbox and get a when green flag clicked. Then you're going to go into the looks toolbox and you're going to get a set size to 100%. And instead of 100%, you're going to so drag that in, and instead of 100, you want to type in 50. So get rid of the 100 and put in 50. So the shark is half its normal size. Then back into the motion toolbox, and you're going to get a go to random position. So that makes the shark start or go to a random position. So when you click on the green flag, it'll go to a random position. Then into the control toolbox, you're going to get a forever block and put that in at the end of your code blocks. And then back into the blue motion toolbox, you'll get a point towards mouse pointer block and drag that in. But you're going to click, once you've dragged it in, click on the white arrow, and instead of mouse pointer, you want to select diver 1 or diver 2. So that's giving the shark sprite an instruction to point towards the diver 1, so in the direction of wherever the diver 1 sprite is. And then finally in this step, still in the motion toolbox, you're going to get the very first block in there, the move 10 steps, and put that inside the forever block. And instead of 10, change it to 1. So move at 1, speed 1. So I am going to mark my step as done. So I'm going to get an outdoor series 1 here. I got a root rare. And let me see. Okay, brilliant. So 11 coders have done it already. Well done, everybody has done it so far. So we're nearly finished. There's 2 more steps. So there's 1 step to finish the project, and then we have a little extra challenge at the end, which we'll do, and that is to add in a variable so that you can actually count the amount of starfish that you collect. So just to add, just to see what your score is. So if you want to play the game with your friend or your sisters or your parents, anyone in your family, then you need to take a turn and see what your high score is. So we're up to 12 coders have done it. Well done. So I'll just call out a few people. So the Jack, DAJC, Piper 2021, Erica ZH, KitKat, Pat in a Hat, Moon 11 1B, Ailish. Who else have we got? So if I haven't called out your name and you get a chance, click on the green thumbs up so I can see you. So normally this feed here will show us all the different badges people earn or get awarded. It's not working today, but we'll get it working for the next one. So we should hopefully be doing another code along for 6 to 9 year olds again, same time next week on Friday. And tomorrow at 11 a.m. we're doing another code along. It's for 10 years old plus, but if you want it, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging. But if you want to join in, you're more than welcome to join in. Okay, so 13 coders have marked it as done. Brilliant. Well done, everyone. So we're going to move on to step number 8, which is game over. So how the game ends is if the shark catches you. So we can see in the little animation here that the shark touches off the diver sprite, and that just makes the game end, so everything freezes. So what we're going to do is we just need to add in some new code to the Shark 2 sprite. And we're going to add it to a group of code blocks that we've already put in. So we're going to put in an if block. If touching diver 1, we're just going to say stop all. So I'm just showing you the little animation here of dragging it in. Okay, so I'm going to go and do it here in Scratch. So I'm going to make sure my Shark 2, let me get rid of my head. I'm going to make sure the Shark 2 sprite is selected and has the blue box around it. That means I'm giving code to the Shark 2. So we're just adding it in to the blocks of code we've already added. So what I want to do is go into the control toolbox, and in here I'm going to get an if-then block, if-then, and look at where I put it. So I'm going to drag it in and put it underneath the move 1 steps, but still inside the forever block. The forever block will stretch down to make room for it. Then I'm going to go into the sensing toolbox. So I want to sense that the shark is touching diver 1. So up the very top of the sensing toolbox, there's a touching mouse pointer block. I'm going to drag that in and put it in the little kind of gap in the if then, the little shape there, and it'll stretch again to make it fit in. So I don't want to say if touching mouse pointer then, I want to say, so I'll click on the white arrow, if touching diver 1, then. And what we're going to do, if that happens, we're going to the control toolbox and get a stop all. Stop all just makes all your code from running, so it'll just make everything freeze. So let me test that this works. So click on the green flag so I can collect my starfish, but if I touch off the shark, you'll see that this code here runs. So if touching diver, this got triggered because the shark touched the diver, and then stop all makes everything freeze. So go ahead and add in that code now. So you're going to add this code in to the shark sprite. So make sure your shark sprite is selected, and you're going to go into the control toolbox and get an if-then block, and you're going to drag that in and put it underneath the move 1 steps block, but still inside the forever block. If you drag it in and it goes outside or it goes in the wrong place, that's no problem. So if you put it in the wrong place, you can just break it off again and then put it back in where you you meant it to go. Happens to me from time to time, happens to everyone. It clicks into the wrong place. That's all right. You just take your time, break. It's almost like Lego. You can just break it apart and then put it back in the positions that you want, in the order that you want. So after you've added in the if touched then block, you're going to go into the sensing toolbox, which is the kind of light blue sensing toolbox, and you're going to get the very first block in that toolbox, touching mouse pointer, and that goes in the little kind of shape gap in the if then. When you drag in a block, it'll show a little halo around the shape when it's ready to be dropped in, and you can drop it in. Change mouse pointer to be diver 1, so click on the white arrow and select diver 1, and then go into the control toolbox, and down the bottom of that, nearly at the end, 4 from the bottom, is stop all. You're going to drag that in and put it inside your if-then block. So once you've added all that code, click on the green flag in the stage area. So it's always very important to check that your code is working. So after each step, or even during as you're adding in the code, you can go and click on the green flag and see the effects that the instructions, the code you're giving have. So I'm just checking again that it's working, and it is. You can click on the red flag and that stops your code. So take your time in adding in those code blocks, and once you've done it, go back into the instructions and click on done to get your badge. I'm after getting a monkey and 15 points. So, okay, how many have done it so far? So 11 of you have done it so far. Well done. So again, I'll just call out the Jack, Piper 2021, Kit Kat, Ailish, Erica ZH, Pat in a Hat, Moon 111B, Coding Club. I've all done it. Let me see if I can find anyone else. Curl 12 has done it. Ailish. Ennard has done it. Well done, Ennard. Piper 2021, 1234 Ed has done it. Code Ninja is me, and Coding Club has done it. I'm always confused whether, so this kind of avatar here that Coding Club has, I'm always confused whether that is a throwing star, like a ninja star, or if it's like a galaxy swirl. I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, so we're up to 13 coders have done it. Well done, everyone. Okay, we're going to move on and look. So that is the main code for the game. So you've added the diver. You've programmed the diver to follow your mouse. You've made the starfish appear in random places, and as you collect the starfish, they disappear and start in a new place. And then you've added in the kind of the skill elements to the game, the skill part of the game, where there's a shark and the shark is chasing you. So just as a challenge, what I'm going to challenge you to do is to see if you can add in code to keep track of your score. Now, I will show you this. I'll just give you a little bit of time to think about it and then to try and do it. So what you'd need to do is you'd need to add in a variable. So create a variable called score. So if we remember, a variable is something that just remembers something. So like a score or like a name or things like that. So if you create a new variable and call it score, S-C-O-R-E, and then you're going to need to add in 2 code blocks. So you're going to set score to be 0 at the start. So you want to think about where you would add in code at the start. So when you're setting things up, where would you add in the code? So at the start, set score to 0. And then when you collect a starfish, so when your diver touches off a starfish, you want to add 1 to the score. So what block would you add in for that? And where would you add it? So have a little think, see if you can do it. You can go into Scratch, create a variable called score, and then think about where you would add in the 2 code blocks. 1 code block to set the score to 0 at the start of the game, and then another code block to add 1 to the score. So change score by 1. Where will you put those blocks? So I'll give you a little bit of time to do it, and then I'll show you how it works or how you could do it. If you want a tip, you can actually click on the See Answer button here, and that'll show you. So once you have done that, come back and click on the green thumbs up so I know. And I'm going to go in now and show you how it's done in Scratch. Okay, so I can see to Jack, Moon 11, Erica ZH, well done. Okay, so I'm going to talk through how it's done. So if you're still doing it, keep on going. I'm going to, and you can maybe just listen to what I'm saying as you go and do it. So I'm going to go into Scratch. I'm going to click on the variables toolbox. I'm going to click on make a variable to create a variable. And again, remember, a variable is just something that remembers something. So we're going to create one called score, S-C-O-R-E. When you do add a variable, you'll see that it gets added to the stage area, and it'll show you what its current value is. So it's currently 0. If you ever want to hide that, you don't want it to appear, click on the variables toolbox, and there should be a checkbox beside the variable, and you can check it on and off, and you'll see that it shows or hides it. So we want to show the score on our stage, on our screen area. So we'll leave that checked. Okay, so now I've created my variable. So I need to add some code to set it to 0 at the start. So I'm going to get a set my variable to, and I'm just going to put it underneath any when green flag clicked. Oh, sorry. Let me drag this across and I'll do that again. So I'm going to go into the variables toolbox, get a set my variable to, and I'm going to put it underneath anywhere a when green flag clicked. So at the start of the game, I'm going to change it to be score. So set score to 0. And then where would I add some code to detect, or where would I add the code for where we detect if the diver and the starfish touch? So when the diver touches the starfish, it's in the starfish sprite, and we have a if touching diver 1 then block. So if I get a change my variable by 1 and put that inside there and change it to be score. So anytime the diver touches a starfish, we're going to get a point. So let me check if this new code works. So starts off at 0, and then when I get a starfish, you'll see up the top here, my score goes from 1 to 2 to 3 and so on. So well done if you got that done and you're able to do that yourself. If not, if you're still working on it, take your time and get it done. We're going to leave the project up all day. So I can see people are giving me the green thumbs up that they've done it. Oh, so I'm marking mine done. So I'm going to get another space series. So I got a UFO original. I hope people are getting some nice badges out there. Okay, so well done everyone. To finish off, I'm going to give away a microbit, a V2 microbit. So let me go and just get the list of coders for today. So if you just bear with me as I do this. So code along coders for today. Okay. So how many have I got? I've got 13 coders for today. So let me, 13 logged in coders that have complete, actually, sorry, I have 15. So let me get that. I will show it to you here. I'll show you the list of coders. So if I drag in here, you see, okay, excellent. So this is the list of coders for today. Can I zoom in and get everybody in? Yep. Okay, so we're going from number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, Ed, all the way down to 23. Oh, that's not right, sorry. I've only 13. That's just the people that have viewed this project, but I want to get the people that have actually completed it. So that is this list here. So, okay, so we've 13 people that have completed it. So we've all the way from 1, 2, 3, 4 Ed down to Vigo, number 13. So what I'm going to do is just choose a random number, and whatever random number is selected or is chosen, we will we'll give the microbit to that person. So I'm just going to add in a sprite. I'm going to add in Abby here and add some code to Abby. So we're going to say when green flag clicked. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I've added in Abby sprite, and I'm going to say when green flag clicked, we're going to make Abby think for 3 seconds, and then we're going to make Abby say, and we're going to join some text, some words together. So the winner is coder, if I can spell right, coder number, and we're going to choose a random number. So let me quickly check how many we have again. So it's between 1 and 13. And I'm just going to check that no one else has joined in. Yeah, 1 and 13. So 1 and 13, where you need to pick a random number. So between 1 and 13. Oh, I ran it there. No, it's not number 11 because I hadn't put in 13 yet. So just bear with me. So this is the run here. This is the draw that we're going to do it now for the winner, for the microbit. Okay, so let me check all the code is right. So whichever number comes up here is going to win it. So let me see. When green flag clicked. And the winning code. Oh, okay. Maybe it was a bad idea to add it into these. So let me just break off these so these aren't working. And I'll do it once more. So, the winning coder is number 4. Okay, so number 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, curl12. So well done, curl12. And we'll send your parents an email just to see where to post out the microbit V2. That's going to, if I can get it to focus, that's going to make its way to you. So you'll hopefully get it maybe early next week. Okay. So that is it for today. So thanks everyone for joining. Hope you join us. We're going to do another one next week. Another 6 to 9 year olds code along next week. And if we're also going to do one for 10 plus year olds tomorrow. So if you're interested, you can join in that. It'll be a little bit more complicated, but you're more than welcome to join in. But otherwise, we'll see you soon.